Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show is live on Monday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6.
Coming up, Memorial Day activities, graduation, Kenyans Alliance, and more.
And also ethics from Quorum, Dove Creek golfer with weather and area happenings. Today is Memorial Day, May 29th, 2017, and now the news at noon. Today is Memorial Day, and celebrations and memorials have been occurring all around our area. In Mancos, people came out Sunday at noon to the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 5231. Veterans visited cemeteries and placed flowers at graves. On Monday at 11 a.m., people met at the Cedar Grove Cemetery south of Mancos on Road 41. A ceremony honoring veterans was held at the cemetery. Afterwards, people returned to the VFW for a flag ceremony. This gorgeous Memorial Day started in Cortez with a breakfast for veterans at 7 a.m. at the American Legion, 320 North Harrison Street. Before the breakfast, people met at the Cortez Cemetery to place flowers at veterans' grave sites. The American Legion will be open all day on Memorial Day. After the breakfast, veterans will hold ceremonies at the Dolores Cemetery and Rico Cemetery. In Durango at 7 a.m., the VFW placed flags on Main Avenue, which will then be picked up at 6 p.m. 10 a.m., the VFW American Legion and Vietnam Veterans Association placed roses and held a memorial ceremony in Iris Park. At 11 a.m., the VFW American Legion Vietnam Veterans Association and the Durango chapter of the Knights of Columbus held a memorial ceremony at Greenmount Cemetery to honor all American soldiers. At 11:45 p.m., the VFW and American Legion held a wreath ceremony on the 9th Street Bridge to honor those who died at sea. Starting at noon, an open house will be held at the VFW, while at 1 p.m., an open house will be held at the American Legion. And this morning at 9 a.m. in Dove Creek, VFW Post 5181 held a full dress ceremony honoring our veterans at the Dove Creek Cemetery. Directly following that, there was a reception at the post to dedicate a monument just adjacent to the howitzer tank and veteran plaque display. Coverage of that ceremony is posted up on the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, State Senator Don Coram, Republican of Montrose, is getting some heat for a bill he carried during the 2017 legislative session because of a perceived conflict of interest. Senate Bill 117, which recognizes industrial hemp as an approved agricultural product for the purposes of using federal project water, was approved by the legislature and signed into law last week in Cortez. According to a letter addressed to State Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman and submitted anonymously to the Durango Herald, Coram is affiliated with an industrial hemp production and processing company, Paradox Venture, and could stand to gain from the legislation. The letter states there is no appearance of conflict of interest and abuse of power. State Senator Don Coram has used his position to enrich himself and his business partners at taxpayers' expense. Coram said he is a founder of Paradox Ventures, a hemp production startup based in Natarita, but doesn't believe there is a conflict of interest, as the bill does not single out his company or Montrose County. His position appears to be backed up by a state statute and legislative rules that exempt legislation affecting an entire class, in this case industrial hemp growers, from being considered an ethical conflict. SB 117 affects the whole state and was a response to water rights being withheld from a hemp farmer on the Front Range. Diana Reams, a representative of Paradox Ventures, said she does not believe there is a conflict on behalf of Coram running the bill because of the bill's scope and the abundance of private water rights in the Natarita area where the startup is based. The law does affect other areas of Montrose County where there is federally funded Project 7 water, Reams said. It does affect us to some degree, but not nearly as much as some of the areas of the state. Reams said the focus of Paradox is less about production and more about gathering the information for growing and processing hemp and selling this knowledge to entities interested in entering the field. Coram said he wants the venture to produce and sell its own goods and potentially be lucrative, but he doesn't see this as a conflict. The Attorney General's office said it would look into the matter but offered no further response Wednesday.
reported in the Cortez Journal. For the 10 seniors who walked across the stage at Dove Creek High School last Thursday night, graduation meant saying goodbye to more than just a school. Although the graduating class was small, as it usually is, the school gym was crowded with their friends and relatives. The main speaker, school counselor Eric Stiasny, addressed each senior by name during his speech, praising their individual strengths, as did the salutatorian and valedictorian speakers. Since several of the graduates had grown up together in Dolores County, their celebration had a familial atmosphere, with each blue and yellow clad student joining the audience's cheers for their classmates. "You will never be successful unless you learn to give beyond yourself," Stiasny told the group. He gave examples of ways members of the class had gone above and beyond expectations during their 4 years at Dove Creek, from Kiera Baufman, who got an early start on nursing school by attending night classes at a community college, to Donovan Trudeau, who gained a passion for teaching younger children. Stiasny had something positive to say about everyone in the class, some of whom he had known since they were in kindergarten, and he urged them all to pursue happiness and lead decent moral lives, no matter what life held for them after high school. The graduates had also known each other for many years, and their camaraderie shone through in the short speeches by salutatorian Baufman and valedictorian Savannah Ayers. "Don't be afraid to take chances and fail a couple of times," Ayers told her fellow classmates. "Mistakes happen, failures happen, but it's how you can bounce back from it that will measure your success," she said. She thanked her class for her memories they had made together. The ceremony also included a slideshow that featured pictures from each grad's childhood and many pictures of them growing up together. Several students received scholarships as well as diplomas at the end of the ceremony. Ayers, a rodeo enthusiast who plans to go to veterinary school, received a $1,000 scholarship from the Southwestern Cowbells, and Baufman received 2 scholarships from the Onward Legacy Foundation worth $3,300 in total. Other students received awards and grants from local companies like Empire Electric Association, as well as their chosen universities. At the end of the night, the graduates were given a flower for each of their relatives to commemorate the occasion, and threw their caps in the air to the sound of a Bruno Mars song. The Dove Creek High School class of 2017 includes Savannah Ayers, Madeline Baker, Kiera Baufman, Shelby Fulmer, Dante Gallegos, Scott Gatlin, Cody Kennedy, Amber Pearson, Donovan Trudeau, and Dancy Young. Congratulations to everyone.
From the Cortez Journal, moments before teeing off at the Class 3A state golf tournament at Borderlands Golf Course in Broomfield on May 22nd, freshman Kiara Lingenfelter of Dove Creek listened as an announcer introduced her to a large gallery via a loudspeaker. It was at that moment that the Dove Creek High School student, who competes as a member of the Dolores High School girls golf team, realized that she was competing in one of the most prestigious prep golf events in Colorado. "I was really nervous, especially on the first day, because I didn't know they would give me a whole introduction," Lingenfelter said. "I didn't know so many people would be watching us when we teed off." In spite of her nervousness, however, Lingenfelter played well in the 2-day tournament, finishing 39th in the 84-player field, after shooting a first-round score of 107 and a second-round score of 102. The freshman's results were especially impressive in light of the fact that she had relatively no experience with competitive golf prior to this season. "I started playing when I was about 6, Lingenfelter said. "My stepbrother introduced me to golf, and I wanted to be exactly like him. My grandpa was really into golf, and he was ecstatic to see that I was playing." When asked about the keys to her performance at state, Lingenfelter mentioned the coaching and support that she has received from multiple individuals, including coaches Monica Plew, Todd Plew, and Micah Rudusky. Lingenfelter also went out of her way to thank Dove Creek math teacher, baseball coach, and experienced golfer Curtis Garver, who coached Lingenfelter at the state tournament. "Garver was amazing, and he helped me in so many ways," Lingenfelter said. "The second day, he really straightened out my drives, and I felt like I played one of the best rounds of the season. I had an amazing experience." In terms of her future on the links, Lingenfelter said that she plans to practice consistently over the summer in hopes of shooting an 18-hole score of less than 100 and returning to the state tournament next year. The freshman, who earned straight A's during her first year of high school, also plans to continue working hard in the classroom. "As a golfer, I would like to improve my putting and become a better sport, because I do get frustrated and I'm kind of hard on myself when I'm not having a good day," Lingenfelter said. I also love reading and would read all day, every day, if I could. I'm really into academics and I play to get straight A's through the rest of high school, she said.
According to the Cortez Journal report, the Galloping Goose Society wants to construct a track behind its museum in downtown Dolores to display restored railroad cars. The plan is to lay 80 feet of track running east-west and parallel to the back porch of the museum on the north side. Up to 2 narrow-gauge freight cars, box cars, or other railroad rolling stock could be displayed. We're trying to develop more interest in the Galloping Goose, and the idea is to create projects like restoring freight cars that people can participate in, said Joe Becker, president of the Galloping Goose Society. The area for the proposed display is within Flanders Park and is part of the museum's properties lease within the town. The Galloping Goose Society has the track, and the San Juan Historical Society out of Silverton has volunteered to install it. Becker said freight car restoration is fairly straightforward and is something volunteers could help out with. It's basic carpentry and some painting in order to restore them, he said. Restoration could be done within the freight shed of the museum or off-site. The museum has a passenger coach car stored at the Trulson Lumber Yard, but Becker said restoring that would be more than the museum could afford at this point. Town trustee Ginger McClellan Swoop expressed support for the museum's display track plan. I'm all for this. It brings interest to Dolores, and the railroad is part of our history, she said. The town board is considering the plan. They directed staff to determine if sprinkler lines, utility lines, or a tree would have to be relocated and whether a survey of the museum's designated lease area is needed. The project was also to be reviewed to determine if restoration activity within the freight shed of the museum requires any building upgrades and is compatible with the land use code. The track display plan will be revisited at the July meeting. We hope this will bring in more local volunteers to support the Galloping Goose Museum so it can continue into the future, Becker said.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Colorado Mineland Reclamation Board on Wednesday found that Red Arrow Gold Corporation of Mancos violated state rules and voted to charge the company more than $6,000 in fines. Red Arrow failed to submit an annual fee report and map to the State Division of Reclamation, Mining, and Safety in 2015 and 2016, according to the board documents. The board, which is part of the Colorado Division of Reclamation, Mining, and Safety, voted to impose consequences at its regular May 24th meeting in Denver. According to Division of Reclamation, Mining, and Safety Representative Russ Means, the company has not had any permitted mining operations in the state since 2014, and there has been no mining activity from the company during that time. However, the company didn't complete administrative steps to close out their drilling projects after mining activity shut down, Means said. As a result, the company was still required to submit the annual reports, which contain information about company activities and operations. Since Red Arrow did not submit these reports, they were found to be in violation of the rules on Wednesday. Means said the division staff asked the board to consider the violations of the meeting as a way of expediting the department's administrative process. Red Arrow was shut down in 2013 after state regulators found an unpermitted gold mill at a production facility on the west side of Mancos. Testing on contaminated equipment found mercury levels that were far above acceptable standards. One set of documents from the company was due to the state by June 24, 2016, according to testimony during the meeting from Michelle Ramirez, program assistant for the Division of Reclamation, Mining, and Safety. The company missed that deadline and also missed filing deadlines on May 17, 2015 and May 17, 2016, Ramirez said. Red Arrow owed the state a total of $258 in fees associated with the documents, according to Ramirez. And now, here's our weather report.
Winds will be calmer today and increase to 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight and turn to the northwest this evening and to the east after midnight. There will be likely isolated showers and thunderstorms over the high country this afternoon that will diminish this evening. There's a noticeable lack of concern over any rain or snow amounts, so don't expect much. Tomorrow afternoon, the southern mountains will see a slight increase in that activity, and outflow winds on both days will be gusty in those areas. They say at the National Weather Service that there are chance sprinkles possible for Dove Creek tomorrow. So all that means is it's so slight the moisture you see in the distance probably won't make it to the ground. So our area and lower elevations will still be warm and dry until Wednesday. By then the ridge will have moved to our east enough to allow some southerly moisture to be drawn into our area. Wednesday afternoon we'll see increased cloudiness that will continue through the night. Then pause Thursday morning and resume in the afternoon and continue through evening and clear away through the night again. Early forecasts show chances at 20%, which is never that promising for the dry Four Corners area. And the precipitable moisture is not yet at levels that do more than a few dirty spatters on the windows and some dry lightning. That leaves us with the mostly sunny skies for Friday. The trough working over the Great Lakes will continue for the next couple of days, and a series of cold fronts will affect an area from the plains and the Midwest to the East Coast. Along the boundary of a slow-moving front, there will be scattered and numerous showers and storms today and tonight from southern Texas along the Gulf Coast and across the southeast. Some thunderstorms could be severe, especially across the southeast. Locally heavy rain will also be possible. This front will labor on into Tuesday with scattered areas of showers and thunderstorms expected for much of the southern U.S. The northern portion of the same frontal boundary will bring widespread showers and a few thunderstorms to the northeast today and tonight. On Tuesday, an approaching system will bring another round of showers and thunderstorms to the northeast again. By late Tuesday, yet another cold front will cross the Central Plains and mid-Mississippi Valley with more scattered showers and thunderstorms. High pressure aloft will begin to shift eastward from the west coast into the Rockies through the next couple of days. This will allow the above average temperatures to shift to the east as well. Temperatures are forecast to rise well into the 90s today and tomorrow for the interior northwest, 10 to 20 degrees above average. Cooler Pacific air will begin to spread into coastal areas of the northwest on Tuesday as the ridge of high pressure begins to shift to the east. By Wednesday, the center of above average temperatures will shift to the northern Rockies. The northwest will see a bit of relief from the hot temperatures as the Pacific front system approaches. Look at that, upper 70s for the high temps for the first 4 of the next 5 days, and that fifth one at 81. Looks like early summer time. Big temperature swings from day to night are here this week. Is your air conditioner ready? The lows in the upper 40s for the first 3 and 50 for the last 2 for a full house. Some clouds without much in them for the midweek and clear again Friday. Tomorrow we'll begin prognostic speculation for the weekend weather. Now back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the Fort Lewis College Board of Trustees on Friday approved a tuition increase at the college for the 2017-18 academic year. Resident students will see a 5.7% increase in tuition, while non-resident undergraduate students will see a 5% increase. Currently, tuition is $6,360 a year for in-state students. For the 2017-18 school year, tuition will cost $6,720. Out-of-state students currently pay $16,072 and will pay $16,872 next year. Last year, the college saw an 8.6% increase for resident students. This is the first increase for non-resident students since the 2009 and 2010 academic year. The increase comes after the board in April approved increases in fees for room and board along with mandatory and course fees. Room rates will increase by an average of 2% and board rates will rise about 3.5%. The average cost for living on campus will go up from $9,790 for 2 semesters to $10,142. The increase in tuition is expected to offset an anticipated 8% decline in enrollment, attributable in part to higher admission standards. The college recently began to emphasize its STEM programs in an effort to attract more students.
Last week's CO2 average is in at 409.96 for the week of May 21st through the 27th. Week before last was at 410.36. 1 year ago, 408.16, and 10 years back, 386.79. From Engineering 360 Online for May 16, thanks to testing inefficiencies and maintenance failures, diesel vehicles worldwide are emitting dangerous nitrous oxides, 4.6 million tons more than standards allow, contributing to about 38,000 premature deaths a year worldwide. According to a study co-authored by University of Colorado Boulder researchers and published in Nature, there are discrepancies between what vehicles emit during testing and what they emit in reality. In 2015, Volkswagen was fitting millions of new diesel cars with defeat devices. These would sense when a vehicle was being tested and reduce emissions accordingly to comply with government standards. This brought a lot of attention to defeat devices. This new study emphasizes the existence of a much larger problem. David Hinz, an associate professor of mechanical engineering at CU Boulder, said, "It shows that in addition to tightening emission standards, we need to be attaining the standards that already exist in real-world driving conditions." Researchers looked at 30 studies of vehicle emissions under real-world driving conditions in 11 major vehicle markets. They found that 13.1 million tons of nitrous oxides were emitted by diesel vehicles. If the emissions had actually met standards, this would have been closer to 8.6 million tons. The study then used computer modeling and NASA satellite data to simulate how particulate matter and ozone levels are and will be impacted by the excess nitrous oxide levels. Researchers reviewed the impacts on health, crops, and climate in specific locations. Susan Annenberg, co-lead author of the study and co-founder of Environmental Health Analytics Limited Liability Corporation, said the consequences of excess diesel nitrous oxide emissions for public health are striking. Researchers projected that by 2040, 183,600 people will die prematurely each year due to diesel vehicle nitrous oxide emissions, unless governments act. Tighter vehicle emission standards coupled with measures to improve real-world compliance could prevent hundreds of thousands of early deaths from air pollution related diseases each year.
From USA Today, when race car driver Danica Patrick roars around the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee later this summer, CSU fans will have an extra reason to cheer. Her car's paint scheme will feature Colorado State University and OneCure, a program out of the CSU Flint Animal Cancer Center. OneCure uses a collaborative approach called comparative oncology to improve cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment in both animals and people. The cars Patrick raced May 13th in Kansas and May 20th in North Carolina incorporated CSU and OneCure logos too. It's such a great program to learn about cancers not only in dogs and animals but in humans and how it relates and that it does, Patrick said during a phone interview with the Coloradoan. During her race at the Kansas Speedway on May 13th, Patrick was caught in a fiery 3-car crash. Her car was shuttled to North Carolina to join ranks with other crumpled cars in Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s race car graveyard. He tweeted a picture of the new addition resting on the bed of his pickup and awaiting transportation to the graveyard, and he tagged Patrick. In the photo, the CSU and OneCure logos appear intact, though dented. "It'll live forever in Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s graveyard," she said with a laugh. "I guess if it's going to die, it might as well go to a good place." Patrick will donate to OneCure at the end of May. She and her longtime boyfriend Rick Stenhouse Jr. have a fluffy miniature Siberian Husky named Dallas, who has been recreated as a stuffed animal. Patrick's team, Stuart Haas Racing, will donate a portion of May's proceeds to OneCure, and Patrick has agreed to match the donation. The partnership between Patrick and CSU came about through one of her sponsors, Code 3 Associates, a Longmont-based nonprofit that specializes in disaster response for animals. The nonprofit supports the Flint Animal Cancer Center and proposed its logo in lieu of a Code 3 logo this summer.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, after nearly dissolving this past February, the Southwest Colorado Canyons Alliance has found new life. Last Wednesday, the Friends Group for Canyons of the Ancients National Monument and the Bureau of Land Management signed a Memorandum of Understanding, or an MOU, needed to partner on public land projects. Local and state BLM officials and the Alliance board and director were all smiles as they gathered around a roundtable at the Dolores Public Lands Office to sign documents and discuss plans. We're so pleased to revitalize, and this agreement will help increase our membership because now we can offer volunteers more activities to participate in, said Alliance Director Diane McBride. We've got some juicy project ideas for you and look forward to hearing your ideas as well, said Connie Clemenson, Field Manager for the Tres Rios BLM office in Dolores. Friends groups are so important for the monument and Anasazi Heritage Center, and we need them as an extension of the BLM to be out there in the community supporting public lands and having that larger voice. The signing is a milestone for the Alliance, which first formed in 2013 but hit an impasse on an agreement with the BLM and almost disbanded. The group is still ironing out what projects they want to focus on, and the BLM has assigned BLM staffer David Saunders to work with them on negotiating the myriad of policies and regulations, including special recreation permits for education and research tours on the monument. A trail counter program to document trail use at popular sites such as Sand Canyon and Lowry Ruin is one project being considered. Expanding site stewardship programs on the monument where volunteers help monitor sensitive cultural sites is another goal. The monument has very important cultural resources, and we hope the SCCA will be a responsive partner for research, education, and conservation projects, said Dave Melanson, chairman of the Southwest Colorado Canyons Alliance. The Alliance will have an office in the Anasazi Heritage Center. Members are being contacted about the group's resurgence, and project planning and volunteer recruitment will begin again in earnest.
The Durango Herald reported La Plata County Sheriff's Office recently issued a warning to residents of continued phone scams that involve a caller who threatens people with arrest unless they send money. Scams come disguised in many ways, but all have two things in common. One, the callers want to steal your money, and two, if you send them money, they will call you again and again for more money until you stop paying them, said Dan Bender, spokesman for the Sheriff's Office. Some of the lies callers might use to trick residents into sending money include, you have a fine for missing jury duty, you must send money or you will be arrested. A friend or relative of yours is in jail, you must send money to get them out of jail. Your friend's wallet or purse was stolen while on vacation, you need to send them money. You owe the IRS money, you must send them financial information over the phone or you will be arrested. You have committed a crime, you must send money over the phone or you will be arrested. You committed a crime, give money for the victim's psychological counseling or you will be arrested. A federal warrant was issued for your arrest. The only way to avoid arrest is if you provide credit card information or go to a store to buy a money card and then call back or wait for a call so you can provide the money card code number over the phone. Callers often pretend to be from local, state, or federal police or government agencies and use the internet to research potential targets. As long as there are victims who will send money, phone scams are here to stay, said Bender.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. Starting Tuesday, May 30th, Dove Creek Schools will be offering free music and art programs throughout the summer. Fill out a survey and come by or call to sign up from 1 to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, June 2nd. To accommodate busy summer plans, the programs are dropped in and do not require attendance commitments. If interested regarding arts, call Christine Soretti at 704-258-8471 or email szeredy@gmail.com. For music, call Steve Pruitt at 970-570-1759 or email spruett@dc2j.org. The Dolores Ranger District plans to conduct a prescribed burn on Tuesday, May 30th at Trimble Point. Depending on weather conditions, hand and aerial lighting methods will be conducted for 2 days to reduce ground litter in an area that burned in June of 2007. The burn would take place on 1,515 acres of National Forest lands about 13 miles north of Dolores, just south of the intersection on National Forest Roads 514 and 523. Smoke is expected to settle into the McPhee Reservoir area overnight and may be visible from Dolores and Groundhog Reservoir. For more information, contact the Dolores Public Lands Center at 970-882-7296. On June 6th, from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m., historian Tom Hayden will give a presentation on the history of the Dolores River. Hayden is a retired educator and a volunteer at the Anasazi Heritage Center. On June 8th, from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., climber Carolyn Gunn will give a talk about her adventures traversing Denali Peak, 20,320 feet, in Alaska. Gunn is a retired veterinarian living in Dolores. And all of these happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us by email at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at the station 677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcasts at 3 and 6 p.m., and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
Be sure to check out DCTV News at Noon on Facebook. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.